What's up? Welcome to the Talk Man Radio Show live, back here every Friday. Unless I die, 6 p.m. on 12 Ounce Sports. Unless they realize that I'm communicating signals via my eyelids, and then they take me off. But they haven't caught on to us yet. We're good. Welcome to the Talk Man Radio Show live. I am your host. You can call me John. It's fine. And we're going to talk about, well, we got to do our usual thing. We are going to talk about some fantasy football this week. Got a couple things we're going to talk about. But first, we got to pay homage to the dudes, the best sports guys around. That's 12 Ounce Sports. They're the best because they're the only ones let me on. Let me on. Yo, you guys rock. I can still come on? Okay. 12 Ounce Sports and 12OunceSportsRadio.com. That's the website you can go to. Check it out. You can find all the donate buttons there. Articles are there. All kinds of good stuff. Check it out. And you can get the live feed of all the shows going on right now. Check out whenever your favorite 12 Ounce Sports is on there. It doesn't have to be me. We're good. It doesn't have to be me. But whoever it is, you can check them out there. Also, there's a donate button at the bottom of that page. You can also go into the store, get the t-shirts, get the good stuff, show off 12 Ounce Sports stuff. And social media for 12 Ounce Sports. You can catch them on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Talkman Radio. I'm only on YouTube for now. You can catch clips of the show over the weekend after, I usually put them up on Saturday, Sunday. I usually put them up on Saturday during the season, but we're out of the season, so I put them up over the weekend. You got to catch them. But you can always catch me here every Friday at 6 o'clock. What else? I just got done working. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. But, so, let's do the rundown. I do want to talk about, actually, let's just get this out. Well, no, we got the Wentz, Hurts trade, the Wentz trade to the Colts. We're going to go over Wentz's fantasy value coming in next year. Just what I think. Hurts fantasy value now, since he's gone. I know they were talking about, we might keep them both. We got two quarterbacks. No, better figure out what you're doing. And they did. And we'll go over that, the trade itself and the fantasy value for both quarterbacks moving forward in next year. And then we're going to go over 5 guys who got picked pretty high but got hurt. Where are they going next year? We're going to talk about that. But as of right now, 12 Ounce Sports, I'm going to plug them again right now. Just want to take a moment to tell you about 12 Ounce Sports. Now that the action is officially back on, 12 Ounce Sports is your home for the best live talk shows covering all aspects of the sporting world and live game broadcasts. See, we're still talking about fantasy football here. No fantasy bets, fantasy football, that's it. And other shows got hockey and sports in general, but fantasy football here, even in the offseason. With Zingo TV adding 12 Ounce Sports to their long list of channels, you can now catch my show and all the others on Zingo TV channel 761. All you got to do is download Zingo TV and use promo code 12OUNCE. That's 12OZ when signing up. It's that simple. Be sure to check out the latest blogs and podcasts as well on 12OunceSportsRadio.com. Told you there was a website. Didn't even believe me. I think I'm lying to you. I think I'm making up stuff. So, first things first. I saw this and I was like, no shit. Rush Limbaugh died this week. And anybody who sits in front of a microphone for anything, especially nowadays, everybody's got a podcast, a YouTube channel, or one of the up-and-coming channels. Everybody has, a lot of people now talk in front of a microphone now. But this dude, last I checked, this is years ago, that dude was worth like $500 million for talking in front of a microphone. You got to give that guy some respect. At the very least. I know there's plenty of people out there. Dude, relax. That dude. When I used to listen to that dude, God, when I was in my, if you want to call it, Republican phase, that dude That dude had his shit together. He knew what the hell, he was fucking. Don't go in there talking shit because he'll rock you. And he, with that, just stand in front of the microphone, on AM, by the way. I don't know if anybody's young enough. I don't know if you guys are young. I don't know if there's anybody even out there. But back in the day, ask anybody older. AM, you know what AM was? AM was, the time is fucking fuck you. That's what the time is. And he goes down there. And then news break. Ronald Reagan. That's what AM was. That's what, and that's all you played in the car. That's what it was. Now it's basically all like conservative radio, and then you get some religious guys, and you get all kinds of shit on AM radio now. That's what it was back then. And this dude came around, started talking, and then all these other dudes came around. You gotta respect that. So, rest in peace, brother. Thanks a lot for doing all that. Look at what all the shit that came from that. Not bad. Gotta give him respect for that. Dude's worth like $500 million. So, that's just throwing that out there for you. See what you think about that. But that dude is legit. So I wanted to say that. And we're 7 minutes in. Gotta talk about something when you got no fantasy football to talk about. Okay, let's get into. There's something I want. Let's go with this trade. If I can find it. Because I can't believe I pulled everything up but this. No. I pulled everything up but what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, let's see. And I'm definitely considering bringing back my screen so you can see the screen when I'm looking for stuff. This guy's going to talk about stuff. So they got... Okay. So... Okay, good. Yeah, and everything pulled up but the actual... what happened with the trade. So what happened was... they traded Carson Wentz yesterday. And they got back... I think they got back a second... I pull up the worst things. Like, they don't even tell you. Oh, great, They don't even tell you what the trade was. It was a blockbuster. It was this, it was that. But they don't tell you forget it. They got, I think, a third this year and a second next year that could become a 1 if he plays well. For a guy that they had to get rid of and let... Hurts take over the starter's job. So for a guy who put up not great numbers, that's not bad. He's going to a team that's farther along than the Eagles. But the Eagles, they wanted ones, they wanted all kinds of crap for that dude. Nobody's gonna give you that. You got a conditional one. You should be happy with that. But overall, I think the Colts. I think it was a decent trade for the Colts. If they're getting a quarterback, they needed a quarterback. This guy is gone, and they saw how far they can go with that guy. And that guy is Phillip Rivers wasn't even. I mean, he played okay, but you could tell when the big competition came around, he wasn't going to do it. He retired. Okay, now let's go find another guy. And this guy, they're looking to get rid of this guy. I'm sure they had their hands in one or the other. It is so cold. I'm trying to see if I can see the air. It's freezing down here. So they gave up what they gave up. And, it's okay. You get a second, third, you got a new starting quarterback. Are they going to go and pick up another one? Maybe. But at least he's going back to a guy he knows. So, overall, the trade, you had to get rid of him if you're the Eagles. I think talking all that crap, yo, we want ones. People are like, we giving you no ones. I giving you shit. The fact that you get a conditional one conditional one, you should be pretty happy with that. Eagles should be pretty happy with what they got. And now they're going to move on and rebuild with the other guy. So overall, yeah, I think that the Colts they needed a guy. They're ready. They want to make that jump. They got a legit defense. And the Eagles wanted to get rid of him. They got a conditional one. Okay. So overall, I think the trade itself, for now, seems reasonable. Next year, you're going to be saying X got hosed. Guaranteed. So, yeah. Let's talk about MyBookie. So we've got sports back pretty much every day now, and if you want to support the 12-ounce sports team, there's an easy way to get into the action. 12-ounce sports is going to hook you up with a crazy deal when you sign up and make your first deposit on mybookie.ag. When you make that first deposit on mybookie.ag, they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000 when you punch in the promo code 12-ounce sports. That's 12OZ sports, all caps, no spaces, when signing up on mybookie.ag to get your deposit match up to $1,000. Remember, always gamble responsibly. And you go in there and just throw it on the table. There's crazy people gambling. Ugh, I used to, like crazy eyes. Come on, let's do it. So let's look at Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts' value as of right now. Now, we haven't had the draft yet, but we'll talk about that too as we look at who's surrounding both of these guys. We're going to do Wentz first. Let's look at Carson Wentz. So, Carson Wentz, we're going to look at the wide receivers as of right now. Well, let's start with the offensive line. So this offensive line is ready to roll. You got Quentin Nelson there. You got Ryan Kelly there. Mark Lewinsky played pretty well. And Braden Smith and Chaz Green are two young tackles. But you're in the middle of that line. You're good to go. And I don't think you got any problem with that. Quentin Nelson's, he's like one of the best offensive linemen we got. So you got 5 guys in front of you. They're pretty good. So immediately you have an upgrade on your offensive line, which is going to help when you don't have guys running in your face all day. You got a second to, all right, survey, go. Rather than, okay, drop back, I'm running. And you don't want to see this guy running. You want this guy back there throwing the ball, not getting hit because he's Fabergé. So, and that's a knock on him. Don't pretend like it ain't. That's absolutely, you don't want this guy getting hurt. So him moving to a better offensive line immediately ups his value. And ups his value to what it was in Philadelphia. So we've got a better offensive line. I think a lot of people would say that. I think the consensus of people would say that. Your weapons, let's look at your backfield. Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, you're good. I think Jonathan Taylor's going to be, he played well this year in his rookie year. I think you're going to see a significant jump next year. He showed he can catch the ball a little bit, make some plays. I think he's going to do that. They want to run the ball there. They have that offensive line that they can run the ball behind. It protects Carson Wentz. You've got Nyheim Hines, who catches the ball out of the backfield, played well last year. Made the most of his opportunities, had a bunch of touchdowns. For a backup running back, yeah, he played, off the top of my head. I mean, I had him in my league. I'm going to say 5 touchdowns. I may be wrong, but somewhere in that area, between 4 and 6, we'll say. I know he had 2 in one game, but he also helped in PPR. drop back, release valve. That's huge. That's exactly what they want. On top of that, you've got, I don't know if they're bringing back Marlon Mack. I think his contract might be up, and they're just, all right, see you later, buddy. And maybe they pick up another guy in the draft and in free agency to round out that backfield. But you got two guys back there with two roles to play that play them well. So your backfield is good to go. My opinion, that's what I think. I think that's what they're looking at, and that's how they want their backfield to look. Jonathan Taylor runs the ball, catches a few passes. Nyheim Hines, third down back, effective. Now, let's go to wide receivers. Now, moving on from the Eagles wide receivers, pretty much anybody you go to is going to have better wide receivers, outside of maybe Jacksonville. But, and New England, their wide receivers kind of crappy too. But these guys, they got real guys over there. T.Y. Hilton, he's still got that speed. He's got a lot of it. I don't know if he has all of it. He has been hurt over the last few years, so that does tend to break down your speed kind of immediately, especially when you compound, injuries. You're just not as fast as you used to be. For a lot of guys, not everybody. Freaking, that guy who played for the Seahawks, Joey Galloway. That dude just run by you. I was watching something. Go check out NFL Network, top 10 fastest dudes, and they show you like these guys look like that guy's gone. That guy could, and then he ran away. Like it looks like everybody else in slow motion. That dude's just fucking running. So Joey Galloway was one of them. Even now, we'll get to the Eagles in a minute. I don't want to bust your. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but the Eagles made a couple moves today. They made one move at least. So you got a deep threat there who's been doing it for years, knows how to play the game, and he's a deep threat, but he's not just a deep threat. He's a real wide receiver. He's a real number one wide receiver, T.Y. Hilton. On the other side, you got Zach Pascal. Pretty good player. Doesn't blow you away, but looks like he's playing well. Played well during the season. Had some decent catches. Made some plays. And on the other side, you got this guy, Michael Pittman Jr. Last year, when T.Y. Hilton went out, you saw, okay, give me the ball. A little 8 for 110, touchdown, caught some big passes. All right. You're good. Now we got T.Y. Hilton there, looking to get out of here, looking to maybe, he's getting up there. Maybe he's looking to retire or something like that, or move on to another team. I don't know if they don't want to pay him, because you're not getting $15 million anymore. You got your big contract. Now you're going to make a little less, especially with the injuries. But this guy's coming up. He's the kid coming up. So you got those two guys there. You get the legit guy, and then you got the kid coming up, and you got the Zach Pascal who's hanging out there, knows what he's doing, plays his role. That's pretty good. And they showed last year, these guys with Phillip Rivers back there, these guys can get some stuff done. You got to give them a shot, and it looks like that's the way they're going next year. The tight end department, here's where. A little shaky there. You got Jack Doyle, Mo Alley Cox. Okay, fine. The issue I have is when Carson Wentz was in Philly, and then Frank Reich there, which I haven't gotten into yet, when he was there, Zach Ertz was catching 100 balls, 90 balls, a year for those like 2-3 years there where he was top 3 tight end. Him, Gronk, Kelsey, I'm throwing my tight end. That's my number one guy. Now, is it going to be a big change for him? Okay, now my number one guy's a receiver. Now we have to change some things around. Maybe, I don't know. We'll wait and see. That's a question. It's going to need to be answered. But Jack Doyle, Mo Alley Cox, meh. Jack Doyle used to be. I mean, Jack Doyle played, in my opinion. There's a guy I knew named Jack Doyle who sit at a bar. That's why every time I see Jack Doyle, I'm like, Jack, this guy, he's out there playing football. I can't get over the dude sitting at the bar. Hey, Johnny, to going out there catching touchdowns. Yo, what's up, Johnny? I just can't see it. It's hard for me to wrap my head around that. So I never give Jack Doyle his due because I'm biased. Because that dude is at the bar all the time. Jack Doyle, that dude is nuts. Mo Alley Cox, I saw some things out of him. He looked okay. But, is he a number one guy? I don't know. I don't know. Trey Burton, he's been flying around for the last 3-4 years. He's been getting money. I think he was Zach Ertz backup, and he played well in the Super Bowl. He's got a Super Bowl ring. But I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's doing it. He's doing it. And Noah Togiel. I don't know who that dude is. So now, what are you gonna do now? Are you want to play the old? You want to make your own commercial next year with and grab Zach Ertz, bring him over there? You want to do that? And then you can do commercials. Zach, what should I do? And then they're gonna do a funny little thing. You should go fuck yourself. Go get Zach Ertz, bring him over, and solidify this offense. That's most likely not going to happen, especially taking that huge contract from the Eagles. So you're not going to get that. Not that, and you're not going to get that. So what are you going to do? You're going to go draft a tight end, maybe. But then, you got to hope the learning curve is just, and he comes out and plays really well. Because you need him to play well to unseat Jack Doyle or Mo Alley Cox. Those guys aren't garbage. They're just not, if they were at a Zach Ertz level, even now, if he's healthy, I would take Zach Ertz over both of these guys. But that's the thing, is he healthy? But a guy who could bring like a Dallas Goedert his rookie year, bring him in. That would be the play, in my opinion. That would help Carson Wentz out. I think that would solidify this offense a little more. Not that it isn't solid now. It's a pretty good freaking offense. But that is the kind of thing that could really push this offense ahead. So overall, those running back position, wide receiver position, offensive line position, the only position that the Eagles actually, I think, have an advantage on is the tight end position. Now, it just so happens the tight end position was really integral in the success that Carson Wentz had when he was with the Eagles. Now that position is kind of lacking here, but everything else is really good. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Now, another thing about Carson Wentz going there, he gets back together with Frank Reich. Frank Reich, pretty good coach. He won a Super Bowl with all those guys. He wasn't the head coach. Carson Wentz wasn't the quarterback. But let's try to do it again. Why not? I think he was there from the beginning when they didn't bring in Frank Reich. Frank Reich was already there with who's that freaking Eagles coach? He got fired last week. Who knows that dude? I can't believe I've been listening to that guy for freaking years. Wow. The last Eagles coach. I can't believe it. Okay, whatever. God, there's something. I'm on crack or something. So anyway, Frank Reich. Frank Reich is, he knows him. He worked with him during his best years. So I think there's something there. You got a shot with Carson Wentz in Indianapolis this year, absolutely. And I think the only issue here is the tight end position. Is he a guy who needs to throw to bigger targets because he can't hit smaller targets? Is that Carson Wentz's deal? Has he fallen off the wagon that much from 2017 that he can't hit? He can't play with good players? It's to be seen. I doubt it. I think he'll be okay. I think when they need him to throw the ball, they'll throw the ball, but they want to run the ball in Indianapolis. So I don't think you're going to have too many games where he's out there throwing for 450 yards. You're going to get a couple because that's just the way it is in the NFL. Everybody throws the ball all over the place. But I don't think he's going to be one of those guys that shits the bed this year. They've got 3 guys so far that have moved teams, 3 big-name quarterbacks that have moved teams. You still haven't even gotten into the draft yet where we're going to get Trevor Lawrence going to Jacksonville and whoever else going to somewhere else, like the Jets. But this guy, I think all said and done, he'll be fine. He's going to have a good year. I think his value, fantasy-wise, where I think he's going to go between rounds 8 and 10, I think. But I think he's going to be, I'm going to give him between QB 8 and 12. I think he'll be fine. I think it'll be between QB 8 and 12. Somewhere around there. I think he's going to play well. He's going to throw some picks. But I think he's going to play a lot better. He's got a lot more actual players at key positions to play with. Not Greg Ward. Nothing against Greg Ward. But he ain't T.Y. Hilton. He ain't even Michael Pittman. So that's where I'm going with the Wentz side of the argument. The Wentz side of the trade, which was the big side because he was the one who getting traded. So that's what I think about that. And maybe we'll come back to this at the next season, see where it goes. But for now, what I really want to tell you about Zingo TV. Check out Zingo TV. It's free. Please use the promo code 12ounce. That's 12OZ. You got to use the promo code. It really helps me to do that. We know them. They know us. They know when you guys are doing that. So it's good to do the promo code 12ounce 12OZ on Zingo TV. Why? Because it's free. 12 Ounce Sports is channel 761, plus they have other actual sports channels, music channels, and all kinds of other channels that you have to go and check out to see what you like. ZingoTV.com is free. Go check it out. And it's free, like I say every week. Please sign up and use the promo code 12ounce on Zingo TV. Why? Because it's free. Zingo TV, Z-I-N-G-O, and Zingo was his name up. ZingoTV.com is free. Use the promo code 12ounce 12OZ. I'm not going to tell you again. I'll tell you next week. And don't forget, at 11 a.m. every Saturday, you get a replay of Talkman Radio Show Live. We talk about fantasy football. What was he talking about last night? Well, you're going to check it out on Zingo TV because it's free using the promo code 12ounce 12OZ. Come on. You know what I'm talking about. So, on the other side, go check out the other side here. So on the other side, you have a second-year quarterback who played a handful of games, and now he's going to be given the reins of how many games they win last year? 4-11-1, something like that. So you're giving a guy with 4 games under his belt, a 4-11-1 team. Okay. Now, a couple things. Let's talk. We're going to go the opposite way this year. This time, the coach. Now you're bringing in a rookie head coach, no experience. I heard about 5 or 10 minutes of his introduction interview. Yeah, it wasn't great. It was just, I'm here to do whatever they tell me to do. What, excuse me? You're the head coach? This guy's head coach? So that's not great. So we'll see. I don't like how is this guy going to be one of those guys that the quarterback wants this, he tells the owner tells the GM tells him. So it's kind of a circular thing from, Now this guy, I don't know if Jalen Hurts, he's the starting quarterback now. If he plays well, he gets more power, and this coach gets nothing because that's just how the NFL works. The players play well, but I called the plays. Nobody cares that you call the plays. I threw the touchdown, and you need. I don't see a lot of teams doing well when the players run it. When the coaches run it, you get guys like Belichick. They had Brady, but Brady knew what was up, and he knew that this is the best place to win 6 Super Bowls, so that's how he won 6 Super Bowls. Not that he could have won them somewhere else, obviously, but at least you got to tighten it. You got a place where the coach is a big part of this, a big part of the disciplinary action. Can't have the play. You never see good things when players are on the team. Anyway, I don't know why I got on that rant. But I don't know about this head coach. I get bad vibes off this guy. It just seems weak. So I'm wondering if the players are going to walk all over him. If that happens, the team isn't going to do very well. But that doesn't mean the players. But as we know in fantasy football, it really doesn't matter how the team does. Ask Deshaun Watson that. Guys who had him on a team. That team won like 4 games. And Deshaun Watson was like QB 5 or 6. So it really doesn't matter how well. As a matter of fact, when they stink, they throw the ball more. Anyway, so Jalen Hurts is going to come in this year. He's going to be the starter. I don't see them taking any rookies really high and making them the starter, or picking up anybody in free agency that would be the starter. So it's going to be him. You're going into a team, and we'll start it off on the offensive line. Actually, no. Let's start it off the other way around. Let's start it off with wide receivers. So you played 5 games. You've got. Let's go down the line. As of right now, these are the wide receivers on the Eagles roster. Quez Watkins, Greg Ward. Greg Ward's still there. Khalil Tate. He might have been a practice squad guy. I don't remember that guy. Jalen Reagor, injured. Made some plays here and there. But, rookie. Didn't do much. Alshon Jeffrey. We're just waiting to get rid of that guy. And they signed him. This team is in such salary cap shit from the way they've been running it. But they got Alshon Jeffrey, so we're good. Alshon Jeffrey. John Hightower, Travis Fulgham had a couple good games this year in fantasy wise, and then they were on to him. That was in his pass catching. He doesn't even have a green uniform on in the Eagles website. They never even got him in the Eagles uniform. Deontay Burnett, who is that? I don't even remember that dude. And J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. That guy. They thought that dude should get cut right now. That dude stinks. So those are your weapons at wide receiver. I'm not impressed. Now, I'm going to give you one little extra piece of information here. This is the way I see it. I don't know. Could be wrong. They very well could use. They have a high draft. I think they're picking 6 this year. That very well could go to a wide receiver. And there's some guys out there I'm going to get into, but that could happen, and I'll talk about who they could pick up if they use the 6th pick on a wide receiver. But, as who's on the team now, tight ends, Caleb Wilson, don't know that guy. Another guy doesn't have an Eagles uniform on. Richard Rodgers, you're not going to get much out of him. Josh Perkins, Tyree Jackson, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz. Those two guys are the real tight ends. All the rest of these guys are just blockers and guys who aren't going to be used very much. Jason Kroom and Hakeem Butler. Who can forget them picking up Hakeem Butler to be a backup tight end? I don't know if that's going to work out. So your tight ends, you got decent tight ends. Zach Ertz has been injury prone. Dallas Goedert is I don't want to say clone, but he does a lot of the same things, and he played well this year. I don't know if he's going to put up the numbers Zach Ertz did, especially during his heyday. But Dallas Goedert is a comparable tight end. He can have big games. He's a good player. Out of South Dakota State. So the rest of these guys make no impact. Richard Rodgers may catch a couple. That's about it. Those are your two main tight ends in your tight end sets. So that's the way they like to play. Well, that's the way they like to play under Peterson. That's Doug Peterson. Thank you. That's the way they like to play under him. You're bringing a coach from a similar offense, but he's going to be the head coach now. Is he going to run the same kinds of things? I would tend to say yeah, but we don't know yet. So I'm going to say these two guys, Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz, especially being your main offensive weapons, are going to be a big part of the offense going into next year. So we're looking at a lot of double tight end formations here. And I think those are two good guys to have. As long as they're healthy, you're fine. Are they going to be healthy? Especially Ertz. We'll see. Their offensive line, getting old. They were back in 2017 when Carson Wentz played his ass off. That line was right there. Jason Peters playing well, still getting hurt. Didn't play in the Super Bowl, but played well enough to get them to where they had a shot to be in the Super Bowl. Now, since then, injuries, getting older. Freak guy's 39 years old. Guy's pushing 40. I think we're good on Jason Peters. Mailata, okay. Lane Johnson. I think there's something going on with him and human growth hormones or something like that. Did I hear that? I might have heard that right. Might have heard it wrong. I don't know. But Lane Johnson, he's top shelf. But he's another one getting up there. He's 30 years old. We'll see where that goes. Andre Dillard, is he going to work out? I don't know. But you've got a good mix of offensive tackles there. You're going to need to dump some weight, and some guys are going to have to play better. If that happens, you've got decent offensive tackles. In terms of guards, you can use some help. Brandon Brooks, Nate Herbig, Sua Opeta, and Matt Pryor. That's not going to get it done. And you've still got Jason Kelsey, Travis's brother. You still got him at center, which is good, but So your offensive line's getting old, needs a massive influx of talent, preferably young talent. Are they going to go for it in the draft? Probably. Are they going to go for it with the 6th pick? That's a good question. My guess, like I said, I think they're going to go wide receiver, and we're going to talk about that. So you're getting, now it's good that the young quarterback coming in is mobile, so that when the line breaks down, he can break out of that and maybe make some plays with his legs. But do you really want that? Okay, that's a part of his skill set. So that's good if you can design that, having him doing it, because, run! Run! You don't want that to be part of your offensive structure. You don't want that. Run, bitch! You don't want that to be part of the offense. That's not good. So, the offensive line not being good, you could use some help there. I don't see this as, since, if the line can be, you can take some, you can take inferior linemen and put him back there because the quarterback has the legs to get out of any messes. That's not good. So as mitigating the problem with the quarterback's athleticism, I don't see this as a plus. We'll call it a break even because you're still going to get hit. You might get some plays out of it, but you're still getting hit, and that's dangerous, especially for your quarterback because you see what's behind him. You saw what's behind him, Nate. So the offensive line is not great. Running backs are kind of a mixed bag. I kind of like Boston Scott as a third-round back, as a shifty little guy, but he's not made to be the workhorse. Miles Sanders is obviously the workhorse. Can he stay healthy? We'll find out. Corey Clement, Elijah Holyfield, I don't know who these guys are. If Miles Sanders can stay healthy and Boston Scott is your secondary guy, that's okay. I don't see them getting much better in the draft because, like I said, you have problems elsewhere. Why would you draft a backup running back? So if they do draft one, I don't see it. Definitely don't see it on the first day. Probably not even the second day. So that's what you see is what you get running back wise. But if they can stay healthy, Miles Sanders is just fine, and Boston Scott behind him is serviceable. The rest of these guys, I don't know. Maybe they get lucky with a draft pick and get a decent player, but the rest of these guys are meh. So they seem to play well when he was in there, but we'll see. It's the injury problem now. Well, you need your guys back there. What else? So we have tight ends. That overall, you're definitely not in as. Hurts is not in as good a position as Carson Wentz is right now. Carson Wentz went to a playoff team that people say was a quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl. I don't know about that, but we'll see what happens next year. And Jalen Hurts going to a team won freaking 4 games. So you're in the inferior position here. Now, could he turn into? I know what the Eagles fans want. They want Lamar Jackson. You ain't getting Lamar Jackson. You ain't getting Lamar Jackson out of this. You're going to get a guy who's probably going to struggle next year. So we'll see what happens. They're not going to build the offense like they did. They're not going to run the ball for 3,000 yards. They don't have the running backs to do that. They don't have the offensive line to do that. And they don't have the weapons to do that. But with the 6th pick, I'm pretty sure it's 6th pick. In my opinion, you've got your choice of 3 guys. This is what, and I'm not a big college guy, and so I don't know about I know I've seen these guys play. Yeah, they look good when they get drafted. The scouts and all that do all that bullshit. But you got Jamar Chase from LSU. I think I've seen him. I don't know. I saw Clemson. I don't know. I didn't see that dude. But I saw those wide receivers, especially Devontae Smith, Alabama. I've seen Alabama play. Yo, Devontae Smith, that dude's good as shit. That dude don't mess around. If they go and get that guy, that helps the wide receiver position. That helps your young quarterback. He's got a guy he can grow with. So that's something that's something right there. Now they can go with a Jalen Waddle. I don't know. I'm not a scout guy, but if they go and take any one of these guys, you're going to get an upgrade in your wide receiver position. You have to. There's nobody else there. So no matter what, this guy comes in, I'm the number 1 wide receiver. Yeah, Jalen Reed can sit down. I'm the number 1 wide receiver. So that's the way that's going to work out. And then they grow together. We'll see what happens. That could help if whoever they get blows up. But the Eagles draft picks never do well. They always stink. So I don't know what's going to happen here. If they pick one, he's going to be good. I don't see him doing much to help Jalen. I mean, not Jalen. Jalen Hurts. I'm thinking Jalen Reed. So I see him as he's probably going to get picked, they're gonna overvalue him, and he's gonna go somewhere between the 10th and 12th round next year. Outside of the Philadelphia area, which I'm in, he's gonna go somewhere between 10 and 12, maybe 13. In this area, though, you gotta extend it down to round 7. We're going round 7 to 12, probably around 7 to 11. You know we're letting that guy. Yo, taking the Eagles quarterback. You shit, what you think? I'm taking him. That's you. I know you want to trade. You want to trade? Give me first round pick. I'll trade him. Give me Zeke Elliott, and I'll trade him. Yeah. I'll take a Cowboy for him. Yeah, over here he's going 2-3 rounds earlier. So that's how it's gonna work. So that's where I think those two guys are going, and we'll see as the quarterback carousel goes. Ding 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 ding. As that goes, we'll see what happens, what other quarterback issues we're going to talk about, and where they're going to go in the draft. If they're going to go higher, lower, we'll see. But you know what else I want to talk about? I love segues. Want to get an inside look at recreational sports betting? Then check out the Vegas Squares podcast brought to you by 12 Ounce Sports. Catch them every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on Zingo TV, channel 761. Told you, channel 761. And again, on Wednesday nights for their golf betting show. You want to bet golf? Watch 12 Ounce Sports Wednesday night. You get the golf betting show. Also, go check out the website, lvsquares.com. That's Vegas Squares exclusively on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV. That's right, Zingo. Keep saying that. Getting you in. You're thinking about it now. You know what else you should be thinking about? Checking out James and the Agent Wednesdays, 8 to 9:30. That's what's up. So, moving on. So I was looking at this. I was looking at guys who went in the draft and going over the draft. And I was like, wow. Every year, same thing. Every year, it's the same thing. And you just don't know who it's going to be. But you're starting to get a little clearer picture, especially with a couple of these guys. So I'm going to go over 5 guys who went fairly high in the draft, got injured. What's going to happen to them next year? Just a quickie. Just wanted to get into some draft. Talking about the draft. Talking about guys. Talking about guys in the draft. Talking about fantasy football. That's what I'm here for. So, first guy was the first pick in a lot of drafts. Christian McCaffrey. Now, up until last year, he played every game. And the year before that, he went bonkers. He went totally bonkers. And everybody was like, yo, this guy, that's how it's going to be. That's my number 1 pick, putting up 30 points a game. Well, played 3 games this year. I'm not even sure if he made it through all 3 of those games. But he played 3 games. 59 attempts, 225 yards, 3.8 carries, 5 touchdowns. Still 5 touchdowns. It's a lot of touchdowns in 3 games. So, 225 yards in 3 games is not great. You're looking at, 70 yards? A little over 70 yards? 75 yards a game? That's not great. You could do better. But it's not terrible. But it's the fact that you weren't playing. That's what we don't like. And then you don't want to get labeled. We don't want to label you that injury-prone guy that really drops your draft status. And in those 3 games, you also caught 17 passes for 149 yards and a touchdown. So in 3 games, he put up 6 touchdowns for you in those 3 games. But so that didn't work out. A lot of guys who picked him, unless you really picked well, because that's your number 1 pick, and you need running back is by far the most important position. If you have a running back, if you don't have a running back, the other guy does. There's plenty of wide receivers out there. You're gonna have problems. And if you have no running backs, then you're really screwed. So running backs get preferential treatment in the draft. So him being the number 1 pick, he's probably going to go down to a mid-late first round. He's not leaving the first round. Running backs get priority. That's the way it is. Now there's going to be, with his drop comes Mike Davis's shoot up the draft board as a handcuff, because we got to defend against this guy missing all these games. We got to defend. What you think of that? You got to do it. So instead of him being a 16th round pick, he's going to be 5th, 6th round pick now, probably somewhere around there. So that's McCaffrey. Moving on. The second pick of the draft, in a lot of drafts, was Saquon Barkley. Now, Saquon Barkley played 13 games in 2019, still had 1,000 yards. But this year, it turned into, now I'm a little surprised. I didn't check prior to this, but I should have. He played 13 games in 2019. I thought he missed a lot more games than that. But he did get 1,000 yards. Only had 6 touchdowns, though. But last year, 2 games. 19 attempts, 34 yards, 1.8 yards a carry. You're screwed. No touchdowns. 6 receptions, 60 yards. Yo, that's not going to work. That is not going to work. And running backs, you are at a premium if you're a running back, but it does not take very many seasons for you to drop and then see you later. You're out of here. You're gonna get, unless you get, the only thing that usually brings running backs back is being moved to another team, and then they get new faces, new places, all that bullshit. You get a whole page in the fantasy magazine, but it's how you do, and sometimes they work out, but a lot of times don't. Go look at Todd Gurley. So Saquon Barkley is, he's still going to be the featured back in New York. I don't see them going out and getting spending any real draft capital on a backup running back. Now, will they go and get like a Latavius Murray type guy? Yeah, I would see that. A legit guy who was a number 1 maybe 2 years ago. I wouldn't go with the Todd Gurley, but I'd go with nobody's coming to mind right now. But somebody in the Murray from New Orleans kind of category. Because you got to have somebody behind him. I mean, the backups did a good job, but you drafted this guy 2nd overall. Yeah, you got to bring more than that. Second, that's you had 1 good year and then you had 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards ain't what it used to be, and now you're missing 14 games. So, but as I said, you're still at a premium. Saquon Barkley probably drops to even, and I'm just saying this. This is if he's still not injured before the draft. If he's injured before the draft, he's gonna miss 4 games. He's getting picked, and who knows where he's getting picked. But if he's healthy, everything's going good. He's probably late first, maybe. Somebody might take a shot late first, but he's probably going to the 2nd round. It's hard to trust guys with injuries immediately getting injured, and the same injuries, bad injuries. You can't have big knee problems like that. So Barkley's probably going to drop in the 2nd round. Next, Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas played 7 games this year, caught 40 passes for 438 yards, no touchdowns. A lot of those games did not do well. He doesn't even get to 100 catches at that ratio. No touchdowns. Just when he played, he stunk. He had Drew Brees there. It's not like, no, he didn't. That's my mistake. He had the running quarterback. He had Taysom Hill in there, so I could see he still had a 100-yard game with Taysom Hill in there. One of those games, like 7 or 8 attempts for 100 yards. But he was used a lot over the throughout his whole career. I mean, he caught a lot of passes. He's 92, 104, 125, 149, and then the usage came crashing down last year. So that's what happened, and that's what's going to happen. You know, there's only one Jerry Rice. There's only, these guys don't come along and just do this for 15 years, and guys get hurt, and especially when they're used so much, it happens. So I think there are some questions to Michael Thomas. Is Drew Brees coming back? I don't think he is, but now they're kind of trying to trot it out there. Oh, well, he might be coming back. I don't know about that. But so I put 2 in there. Michael Thomas, I think with a year getting back to health, I think it'll be. I don't think we're going to see 149 catches anymore at 1725 in yards. I don't think we're seeing that anymore, especially with Drew Brees possibly retiring. But if Drew Brees does come back, he's a late first-round pick. If Drew Brees does not come back and they go with Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston, you're looking at mid-late second-round pick because I don't trust either of those quarterbacks. And you got to take into account that he was hurt. And when he played last year, he didn't play well. So that's that. Next on the team, next guy is another wide receiver, and I got a tight end after this. Try and guess who it is. Julio Jones. Julio. Now, Julio is. He's been missing games the last couple of years. He's still, 2018 he played, pretty well. 113, 1,677 yards and 8 touchdowns. But he was never, early on he was. But after that, the touchdowns weren't there. 2012 was the last time he put up double-digit touchdowns. Some guys find the end zone, some don't, and he is not one of them, and he never really has been. 8 touchdowns is his max. He did that twice in 15 and 18. 18 was by far his best year over the last 5. And ever since 18, missed a game in 2019, caught 99 balls with 1394, 6 touchdowns. Not bad, but there's other guys who did better. There's other guys who put up more touchdowns, other guys who put up more catches. Especially nowadays, when quarterbacks throw the ball 40 times a game. There's other guys in the first round that you can get that'll play better than that. So that's why he dropped a little bit. He was kind of a second-round pick in the leagues this year. This year he put up 51 for 771 and 3 touchdowns, played 9 games. That's going to drop him down to somewhere in the 3rd, early 4th round. And he's not even the number 1 there now, so you got to take that into account. Julio, just dropping like a fly. Now, if he goes somewhere else, that could rejuvenate him a little bit, but it's the injuries that I'm worried about. He's missed a couple games here and there, and last year he missed 7, so not good. So I think he's dropping to 3rd, early 4th round status. And last but not least, George Kittle. What? I always liked George Kittle. When in 2018, I picked him up and dropped him. I picked him up and dropped this dude. But last year, he was the number 2 tight end coming off the board. I liked him. I went with Kelsey, though. Thank God, because this guy played 8 games, caught 48 passes for 634 yards. That's still pretty good. You extrapolate that out. That's 1,268 in terms of yards, but only 2 touchdowns. Again, I see him dropping to like 3rd, 4th round. But he's a legit tight end. So I think Darren Waller gets picked before him, and definitely Kelsey. So that's it. Those are 5 guys we're talking about. Those are my comments, and come back next week.